Hey everyone, I'm putting this video to show you guys what's supposed to be done on this assignment. I know in the title it says algebraically, but this is going to be just graphing for the time being. It's very similar to what we were doing last week. And so, let me move myself. Wow. So what we're doing is you're going to be approximating the coordinates of this intersection over here. I'll let you guys figure that out. But the whole point of doing this graphically is so that way we can actually see exactly where things cross. Because in the real world, not every system of equations, whether they're linear equations, quadratic, whatever they may be, they don't always fall on a lattice point, which is, like these points over here, like that are even. So in this case, it's not on a lattice point. So doing this graphing by graphing will allow us to figure out exactly where it is. So for the red equation, let's do the blue one first. The blue one, it looks like it's passing at 3. So we know for the blue one, we have y equals something x plus 3. And let's see if we can find another clean lattice point. Looks like there's one there. There's one there. So it looks like going up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. That seems pretty consistent. So up 1 over 2. And it's a positive because reading this left to right, it's going up. Okay. Now for the red one, or orange, or blood orange, like we established for period 8, we have, there's a lattice point there, and the next one is up there, so I'm going up 3 over 1, and that's also positive, up 3 over 1, which is actually just 3x, and then now we got to figure out what the b value is. Now we can count from here, go down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, and see where you land, but this also gives me a perfect segue into talking about different forms of linear equations, at least the 2 of the 3. You already know one of them. So for linear equations, we have one option is slope-intercept form, which we're all very familiar with. Everyone remembers this formula, y equals mx plus b. It's called slope-intercept form because it gives you the slope and the y-intercept. So this is the equation that actually has the y-intercept, which is the one that we wrote the blue part in. And the red part in, we're trying to write it in that way. It's just, might be, we don't know exactly where this y-intercept is. And again, we can count it, or we can use a different form. So the other form is point slope form. And guess why this is called point slope form? Exactly, because it gives you the point, it gives you a point and the slope. These are 2 of them. There's a third one. It's called standard form. That's when the x's and y's are on both sides, but these are really the 2 that we use a lot when we're writing an equation of a linear function. Now, this one looks a little more complicated, and I agree, it's easier to remember y equals mx plus b. But if you memorize this, if you practice this and get in the hang of this, you're going to find that this is like going to be your favorite one and your go-to. So let's use point slope form to figure this one out. So we have, I'm trying to figure out the one in red. So if I were to use point slope form, it's y minus something equals the slope, which we know is 3, and then x minus something. So now all you have to do is pick a point. Pick any point that from this blood orange line that is an easy point to work with. You can pick this point, you can pick this point, you get the idea. So let's say we pick this one. And the coordinates of that point are 4, 7. All right. And of course, this is the x, this is the y. And all you have to do is plug in that x in this for x1, plug in the y for y1. And you're done. There's your equation. That's so much easier. And check this out. Even if you want to write this in slope-intercept form, if you were taking a quiz or a test that asked you to write your answer in slope-intercept form, you go, oh no, but I love point-slope form. It's so much easier. Got you. If we distribute this 3
times x is 3x minus 12 equals y minus 7. To get it to be y equals, I'm going to add 7 to both sides. And the only thing I can really add it to on this side is that negative 12. So on the left side, we're left with y equals 3x, and the negative 12 plus 7 is negative 5. There you go.
There's your answer in slope-intercept form. Okay. Now, right here in part B, we have a system of equations. Why is it called a system? Because the system of linear equations is a set of two or more equations using the same variables. So here we have two variables that we have to find. We have an x and a y this time, as opposed to last week when we only had to worry about the x. Here we have an x and a y. Now, so there's two variables to solve for. If you have two variables, you need two equations. If there's three variables you have to solve for, you're going to need a system of 3 equations. If there's 10 variables you have to solve for, you need a system of 10 equations. I think you guys get the gist of it. Now you're going, well, what is the point? When are we ever going to do that? Well, in this class, we're going to be doing systems of 3 equations, and even 10. Maybe. But for sure, we're doing 3. So anyway, here's our system. Now, if we wrote it like this, if we set them both equal to each other, then it looks a lot like what we were doing last week. And if we use Desmos and write our equation like that as one equation, we get that vertical line just like we were doing last week, just like we had that quiz on last week. And we get one vertical line that goes through the x-axis. And that tells us what the x value equals. However, with a system, we're going to need to, in order to solve a system where we need both the x and the y, we're going to have to just make 2 separate equations. Okay, and here's our system, and to see where they cross, we just look at the point of intersection. When you write it as a system, and you get the coordinate point where they intersect, this would be your solution of the system. You have the x and the y. So x equals 3.2, y equals 4.6. So that's what that means. And on the homework, what you're doing is you're just going to be using Desmos, setting up a system and putting in your solution as either a coordinate point or x equals whatever, y equals whatever. So in our case, we had x equals 3.2, y equal 4.6. So you can write your answer like this, or you can write your answer like this as a coordinate point where you need parentheses and not 2 commas. And you'll probably find that writing your answer as a coordinate point is much easier. That's all I got for you guys today. Let me know if you have any questions on the homework. And I hope you find this video helpful. Take care.